Hello guys, welcome back. We're on knives today, so let's get started with that. The only two knives I consider viable are the stock and the spy-cicle. The Kunai and the Eternal Reward are fun to use in lobbies, but unless you're rolling the enemy team, I would steer clear of them. And since the big earner's been bad for so long, even though it was buffed, I never really find myself using it, so I don't really have an opinion on it. I'd say the speed boost is fun, and probably sometimes a bit handy when the enemy comes full of clutter so you don't get immediately focused, but the number of times I've survived on under 25 health have made me never really want to run it. If you are curious though, I'd recommend trying to run it for a scrim or two to try and get an idea of it. Honestly though, remember that the choice is whether or not you want to run stock or spy-cicle. So starting with the spy-cicle, I like it a lot with the new Deadringer because they both recharge at about the same rate with ammo pickups, so it feels a bit like a gimme to run both. 2 steps of safety from pyros I think is always welcome in my opinion, especially because it means you can either choose to use the DR or the spy-cicle to get rid of afterburn. You've got 2 choices, makes it quite nice if you just want to shoot the pyro to death and you don't want to use up all your resources at once to do that. I also quite like running it normally with the invis watch as a safety measure, just in case a pyro accidentally shoots like a stray particle kind of near you, which causes you to die and then have to spend another minute having to wait to get into position again. The stock is, to be honest, pretty balanced and pretty much always viable. If you don't ever have any problems being lit on fire, it really should be your go-to. I like the spy-cicle mainly for being able to remove the recoil on the afterburn, but it's still a bit of a trade-off. It's not that often that the pyro hit me with 1 particle, so I missed the stab actually happens, unless you're playing like a Koth map or against a pyro who literally only spy checks. But if you do come against one of those pyros, you run the Deadringer, you pull the pyro away, and you let your soldier or whatever bomb in for free. Because those pyros really like to focus 125 health spies over a 200 health airborne class with several hundreds damage rockets. Dunno. But you can tell if you're playing against a good pyro if they don't actually chase you most of the time and just send a scout after you or wait for you to come back anyway. Those are the good pyros. Those are the scary pyros. Those are the ones you have to actually shoot. But to summarise, stock and spy-cicle are both equally good with all watches, all situations, unless you really need one pick. If you really need to kill one person, you run invis, l'étranger, knife, and you stab that man, because you can almost guarantee a pick if you time it properly, and the stock knife, you're not going to lose your knife because you get picked off by a pyro. It's also, possible to ambi 2-headshot them, but it's a lot harder to do than knifing them in a lot of situations, maybe. So do keep that in mind. Most of the time it's just kind of personal preference. I only really use the spy-cicle now because I've pretty much always used it. I do have like 32,000 kills on my stock and only like 12,000 on my spy-cicle. But that's mainly because I used the stock in pubs for a really long time before playing a competitive. And I've gotten pretty much all my kills since then with the spy-cicle because it used to be a pretty much upgrade to the knife. It's not anymore, but it used to have silent killer on it, which meant that you could legitimately get like 3 or 4 picks at once before the enemy turned around. It was really good. Not that anymore. I just kind of use it because I always have, and it's nice to use against pyros, I think. But yes, most of all, personal preference. Try playing with both for an extended period of time to feel for their weaknesses and strengths before worrying too much. And if you're in doubt, just use the stock, if only because it has really nice reskins. Well, that'll be all for this section of the guide. I will see you next time for watches and disguises. I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.